Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Victoria Tundu and Kewa Biola.
Good morning, Mr. Efeni.
Yes, let's start the review with this Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, 34 senior lawyers mount defense for Deborah's suspected killers in court. Tambuwa relaxes curfew in Sokoto, warns against breach of law. Don't join planned protests, Sule tells Nasarawa Christian Association of Nigeria. Southern Middle Belt Alliance demands prosecution of perpetrators, condemns destruction of property by Muslim youths. Berates former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for insensitivity. Well, 34 lawyers led by a legal team of 34 lawyers led by a law lecturer at the Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, Professor Mansour Ibrahim, yesterday appeared to defend those who have alleged to have masterminded the gruesome, brutal murder of Deborah Samuel. Well, they are having their day in court. They have a right to be defended by lawyers, whether it's 1, 20, or 34. Well, they are being defended. I'll just leave it at that. But, of course, there's also the Middle Belt Forum berating former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for insensitivity. Of course, his tweet condemning and pulling down that tweet. And if you just look at inside this day, the article, no, of course, the column of Onikepo Braithwaite, who wrote on this issue, is there on the system, where she also said that any presidential aspirant who cannot guarantee the safety of lives and property and people upholding their own beliefs, then it's not fit to be a presidential candidate. Now, let's just look at other newspapers quickly. Federal government faces tough choices to stabilize economy as inflation bites harder. Inflation rates jump to 16.8% in April, highest in 8 months. Fuel scarcity insecurity hike in Jet A1 compound woes. Don't expect deceleration until September. Adi suggests MPRO may join interest rate hike fray. Yes, the Monetary Policy Committee, they'll be meeting, I think, in the next 1 week or thereabout. They may just bite the bullet, and that's what this, the Guardian newspaper is reporting. Bite the bullet and adjust the policy rates for the first time since September 2020, as resurging inflation, of course, creates a lot of concern within the economy. And the people, the citizens, are feeling it very hard in their pockets. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, as you strike, chaos as angry students shut highways, stranded commuters groan on Benin, Shagamu, Ilesha, Akure, Ojo, UI, Molola, other expressways. ASUP strike.
Mokola.
Okay, Mokola, okay. ASUP strike disrupt academic activities in polytechnics. Yes, the students taking their destiny in their hands. If the federal government and the university teachers don't want to come to an agreement so that, or at least meet each other midway, so that students can return to school, and the students are at the verge of losing an academic session, I think they have a right to take their destiny in their hands until the federal government do the needful and ensure that the universities, public universities, reopen. Now, the Nation newspaper, EFCC arrests federal government top accountant over 80 billion naira fraud. Yes, money laundering in real estate. That's the Accountant General of the Federation. Was arrested yesterday by the EFCC. Well, over what the EFCC called 80 billion naira fraud. Well, presumed innocent until he have his day in court. But that would look like a big catch. Now, above the masthead of the Nation newspaper, Supreme Court to hear appeal on Section 84-12 on Thursday. Yes, it's good that controversy is put to rest by the highest court in the land very quickly. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, 2023, governors move to secure tickets for selves, associates, fight for consensus candidates. 5 of 11 first-term governors emerge consensus standard bearers. Now, just below that, there is a story that should sadden the heart of anybody. My husband was lynched like a common thief. Wife of slain sound engineer. Yes, the sound engineer who was slain, mobbed by Okada riders. Over 100 naira in Lekki over the weekend. So mob action in Lagos, mob fanatical action in Sokoto State. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, 2023 presidency push for northern candidacy heightens in APC. Promoters, prisoners of power, Tinubu's camp, saying, we will lose if South is skimmed out Ndume inside the game plan. I will create political problems, not disintegration, Professor Fage. Now, the Punch newspaper, Timetable, INEC talks tough as 18 parties failed to conduct primaries. No going back on election timetable, June 3 deadline, INEC warns parties. APC, others intensify lobbying as commission says terminal date for primaries fixed. PDP postpones governor, Senate primaries for the 3rd time. Cites IPOB's sit at home. Of course, we've always known that Monday is sit at home. So if you go and fix your, in the Southeast anyway, if you go and fix your activity on that day, you know what to expect in the Southeast. Now, New Telegraph newspaper, how 2023 presidency, how so change political calculation, Kalu reconciliation, Ganduje withdraws, Senate seat ticket to Jibrin, Senator surrenders seat to Yari. Yes, I've always been wondering. So and his Kwankwansiya movement now in the NNPP. What are they up to? Real thought false, or they just want to seize the Kanu votes and use it to negotiate? Well, we'll see how it pans out, because beyond Kanu, I'm not seeing the impact of Kwankwanso's NNPP for now, but we'll see how the game pans out. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, aviation fuel crisis, 30 years after bus pipelines to Lagos airport haunts airlines. Stakeholders say pipelines will have made Jet A cheaper. Worried use of tankers to discharge fuel at airport risky. Say 5 million liters of aviation fuel sold at Lagos airport daily. Yes, that pipeline from Mosimi to the airport was ruptured some 30 years ago, but nothing was done to repair it. So now you see all manner of tankers approaching the airport to deliver Jet A fuel. And according to this report, that means of delivery, of transportation, has also added to the cost, the surging cost of aviation fuel. Another policy failure, Business Day newspaper, surging wheat prices evoke ditched cassava policy as India bans export of wheat. Yes, there was a time in this country, the government of the day asked that Nigerians should learn to eat bread made from cassava. Some of us poked our noses then. What manner of bread is that? Today, we know better. If we were eating cassava bread, of course, nobody will be talking of wheat from Ukraine.
We eat a lot of cassava bread, actually. A lot of people don't know.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, if we grow enough cassava,
we
make it the dominant source of flour for bread, I'm sure will not be worrying our minds about wheat not coming out of Ukraine because of war. And India now banned export of wheat. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly. The Times of London. Petrol firm profiteers failed to pass on duty cut. Yet, yes, diesel retailers in Britain, despite the cut in duty given to these firms, they have failed to reflect this in the price of petrol in the UK. Yeah.
That's all we'll be able to take. Thank you very much indeed. We'll continue from there too.